Welcome back to LexTalk. We're jumping into Season 3,
Oh, yeah.
and we're focusing on English communication here in Thailand.
Awesome.
For all our educators,
Mm-hmm.
parents, and English enthusiasts,
Right.
all of you out there.
Yeah.
And today we're going to tackle something that can be tricky, even for fluent speakers.
Oh, really?
I know, right? Cultural barriers in communication.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You think you've got English all figured out?
Yeah, you think you're good to go.
And then bam,
What?
culture throws a wrench in the works.
Yeah. I've seen that happen a lot, actually.
So what do we even mean by cultural barriers when we're talking about English?
Right.
Okay, imagine you're in like a business meeting.
Okay.
You're speaking perfect English.
Got it.
And your Thai colleague,
Uh-huh.
they seem hesitant to really give their opinion directly.
Oh.
Are they just shy, or is there something more to it?
That's a great example.
Right.
Because, in Thailand, we really prioritize harmony.
Yes.
And we try to avoid confrontation.
Definitely.
So instead of just saying, no,
Right.
you might hear something like, that's an interesting idea,
Oh,
when they actually disagree.
yeah.
And misinterpreting that could be a big mistake,
Yeah, you could lose a deal.
for sure.
It's more than just the words. It's like
Oh.
this whole other layer.
Yeah, and it gets even more interesting when you think about nonverbal cues.
Nonverbal cues.
More than 70% of communication is nonverbal?
Wow, that much.
Yeah, and those cues can mean totally different things,
Oh, I can imagine.
depending on the culture.
It's like when someone smiles.
Right.
That can mean so many different things in Thai culture.
Like politeness,
Agreement.
masking disagreement.
Who would have thought?
And don't even get me started on silence.
Oh,
In some cultures, silence can be awkward.
Yeah, you don't know what to do with yourself.
You get nervous.
Right.
But in Thailand, silence can be a sign of respect,
That's a good point.
showing that you're really considering your response carefully.
So it's not that they don't have an answer.
Right.
They're just thinking it through.
Exactly.
I could see how that would be confusing for someone,
Mm-hmm.
especially an English learner.
Right. Like if you ask a question and there's a pause before they answer.
It's not hesitation.
No, it's respect.
Interesting.
Now imagine you're learning English and you're trying to navigate Thai hierarchy.
Oh, yeah, like how do you address your boss?
That can be a minefield?
Can you use their first name?
Definitely not.
No way.
Not a chance.
Big mistake.
In Thailand, respecting hierarchy is super important,
I've noticed.
and it shows up in how you use English.
You can't just translate directly.
No, you have to understand the cultural context.
Yeah, so formal versus informal speech in Thailand.
That's a whole other level.
That's a big one.
It's like a secret code.
Right.
Yeah, so we've seen how these cultural barriers can trip anyone up.
Yeah, even confident English speakers.
Absolutely, but don't worry.
Right.
It's not hopeless.
We're going to give you some strategies to help.
Yeah.
So how can we overcome these challenges?
Well, first of all, you gotta actively engage with Thai culture.
Like how?
Watch some Thai movies.
Fun.
Analyze how the characters interact.
Yeah,
Pay attention to those nonverbal cues.
that's a great idea.
It's like a crash course.
Yeah, fun crash course.
Yeah, and if you're ever unsure about something, just ask for clarification.
Oh, yeah.
You can say something like, could you clarify that a bit more? Or do you mean?
Oh, good ones.
It's better to be safe than sorry,
I agree.
especially in those tricky situations where someone might lose face.
Right, face is so important here.
Yeah. For example, instead of criticizing someone directly, you could say something like, I'm wondering if there might be another approach.
Ah, that's a good one.
It's all about saving face.
And being mindful of your own nonverbal cues.
Exactly.
Like eye contact.
Can be a big one.
That can be interpreted so differently in different cultures.
Absolutely.
And don't forget to adjust your English, depending on the situation.
Formal versus informal.
Right, like an email to your boss.
Totally different from talking to your friends.
It's like having different outfits.
Communication costumes for different occasions.
Oh, that's that.
So what's the takeaway for everyone listening?
Yeah, what's the big picture?
Well, cultural barriers are real,
Yeah, no doubt.
but they're not impossible to overcome.
Right.
By learning about the culture,
Yeah.
listening actively,
Mm.
and being willing to adapt your communication style.
Right.
You can unlock a whole new level of understanding.
That's so true.
It's not just about speaking the language.
No, it's about understanding the culture behind it.
Exactly.
It's about listening and observing.
And being sensitive to those unspoken cues.
It's like learning to read between the lines.
That's how you build real connections.
This is so true.
Yeah, and bridges of understanding.
And don't forget
Yes.
to follow LexTalk.
On all our platforms.
Our website, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, and Spotify.
And our handle is at LexTalk Podcast.
We'll be back with more insights,
In just a bit,
so stay tuned.
we'll dive deeper into this.
Let's talk. Let's learn.
Let's LexTalk.
See you soon.
You know, it's amazing how much you can learn just from those everyday interactions.
Yeah, like watching people.
Observing those little cues.
Yeah, like becoming a cultural detective.
Exactly.
But what about when those subtle cues aren't enough?
Right.
What are some more practical strategies
Okay.
for bridging the communication gap?
Well, one of the most effective strategies is active listening.
Active listening.
It's not just hearing the words.
Uh-huh.
It's really paying attention to the speaker's tone,
Right.
their body language,
Okay.
and even the things they don't say.
Oh, that's interesting.
Sometimes what's not said is just as important as what is said,
Especially in Thailand.
especially in a high-context culture like Thailand.
Yeah, where so much is unspoken.
Exactly.
So if you're not sure about something,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to ask for clarification.
Yeah.
Like, what are some good phrases to use?
You could say something like, "Could you explain that a bit more?" Or, "I want to make sure I understand correctly."
Oh, those are good.
They can really help prevent misunderstandings.
And I found that Thais are generally really happy to explain things
Oh, yeah, they're very patient.
if you approach them with respect
Absolutely.
and a genuine desire to learn.
And you know, this ties into another important aspect of Thai culture,
What's that?
the concept of face.
Face. That can be a tricky one.
I know, it's one of those things that's hard to explain.
It really is.
Can you try to break it down for us?
So face is all about maintaining social harmony
Okay.
and preserving one's dignity and reputation.
Right. So you don't want to make someone look bad.
Exactly. In Thailand, it's really important to avoid causing someone to lose face in public.
So like directly criticizing someone
Yeah.
or pointing out their mistakes in front of others,
Big no-no.
that's a big no-no.
Yeah, it can make them feel embarrassed or ashamed.
Which could damage their relationships
Oh, yeah. It's all about relationships here.
and their social standing.
So I can see how this concept of face would influence how Thais communicate in English.
For sure.
They might be more hesitant to speak up
Yeah, especially in a group setting.
or to disagree directly.
It's all about being indirect.
So how do you disagree without causing someone to lose face?
Okay, so instead of saying no,
Right.
a Thai person might say, maybe we could consider other options.
Oh, okay.
Or, I'm not sure if that's the best approach.
So it's like hinting at disagreement
Exactly.
without actually saying it.
It's a delicate dance
It really is.
of language and cultural sensitivity.
For English learners, this must be so tricky
It takes practice
Yeah.
and observation.
to master this.
Yeah, but once you understand those underlying cultural values,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes much easier.
Yeah, you start to see the patterns.
Exactly. You can navigate those complex social interactions.
And your English communication becomes so much more effective. You can build stronger relationships
Avoid misunderstandings.
and really connect with Thai people.
Yeah, on a deeper level.
So we've talked about the challenges,
Right.
but let's not forget about the rewards
The rewards are huge.
of mastering intercultural communication.
Yeah, it's like opening up a whole new world
I love that.
of understanding and appreciation for different perspectives.
When you can communicate across cultures,
Yeah,
you're not just exchanging information,
you're building bridges.
you're building bridges of understanding,
and empathy.
and that can lead to some amazing opportunities,
Oh, yeah.
both personally and professionally.
And friendships.
Collaborations
Even career paths.
that you never even imagined.
It's amazing.
And it's just fun to connect with people from different backgrounds,
To learn about their cultures.
to see the world through their eyes.
It's one of the most enriching things you can do.
But let's be real.
Okay.
This takes effort.
It does.
It takes dedication.
It's not something that happens overnight. It's a journey.
It is, but it's a journey worth taking.
And luckily, there are resources out there to help.
Oh, yeah. Tons of resources.
Like what?
Well, for starters, there are some great books
Okay.
that delve into Thai culture and communication styles.
Any recommendations?
Absolutely. One that comes to mind is Crossing Cultures, The Art of English Communication in Thailand
Oh,
by
okay.
Dr. Sam Mafi.
I've heard of that one.
It's a really comprehensive guide.
What does it cover?
It examines the interplay between culture and language
Interesting.
with a focus on Thailand.
So it's perfect for English learners here.
And educators.
Yeah, teachers would find this really helpful.
Dr. Mafi does a great job of explaining complex concepts
Mm-hmm.
and offers practical strategies for overcoming communication challenges.
That's what we need.
Yeah, and there are also tons of online resources,
Oh, yeah, I bet.
websites like English Club,
Okay.
EF English Live,
I've seen that one.
and Babbel.
Oh, yeah, Babbel's good.
They all offer articles, tips, and interactive exercises.
That's awesome. to help you develop your cultural awareness.
And communication skills.
Exact.
And what about for teachers specifically?
For teachers, I highly recommend checking out TESOL International Association
Kessel.
and IITFL.
Mm,
They offer professional development,
That's great.
conferences, and tons of resources to support educators.
So they can incorporate cultural sensitivity into their teaching.
Exactly.
That's so important.
So whether you're a student, a teacher,
Right.
or just someone who loves language and culture,
There's something out there for you.
there are resources to support your learning journey.
And don't forget, the most important resource is your own curiosity
Oh, yeah.
and willingness to engage with different cultures.
The more you observe, listen, and interact with people from different backgrounds,
Mhm.
the more you'll develop those crucial intercultural communication skills.
It's all about stepping outside of your comfort zone.
Yes.
And embracing the richness and complexity of human interaction.
And trust me, the rewards are worth the effort.
So as we wrap up this part of our deep dive,
Okay.
let's shift our focus back to our listeners here in Thailand.
Right here at home.
What are some key takeaways
Yeah.
that are particularly relevant for them?
For those navigating the complexities of English communication in a Thai context,
Well, first and foremost, I think it's crucial to remember that Thailand is a high-context culture.
yes, that's a big one.
A lot of the meaning is conveyed non-verbally
Through shared understanding
through those unspoken cues,
and implicit messages,
which can be very different from Western cultures.
which tend to be more direct.
Yeah, so that can lead to misunderstandings.
Exactly.
So for our Thai listeners who are learning English,
Yeah.
it's important to be aware of these differences
Right.
and to practice adapting your communication style.
Depending on who you're talking to.
And for those who are interacting with Thai speakers,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about developing sensitivity to those cultural nuances
Paying attention to those nonverbal cues.
and being patient
Yeah.
in deciphering those implicit messages.
It's like a whole other language within a language.
I like that.
It's a secret code.
And remember, it's a two-way street.
Oh, definitely.
Both sides need to be willing to meet each other halfway
To make that effort.
and to create that space for a clear and respectful communication.
Absolutely.
It really is fascinating, isn't it?
Oh, it is.
This whole dance of cultural understanding.
Yeah.
So to wrap up our deep dive today,
Okay.
what's the one message
the one big takeaway?
that you want to leave our listeners with,
Mm-hmm.
especially those who are learning and using English here in Thailand?
I would say this.
Okay.
Cultural awareness, it's
Ah.
not just a checklist.
Right.
It's not something you just tick off and you're done.
Got it.
It's an ongoing journey.
I like that.
It's about constantly learning,
Yeah.
observing, and adapting.
To all the different communication styles out there.
It's a beautiful tapestry.
And that journey is full of challenges,
Oh, yeah.
but the rewards are incredible.
They really are.
You're not just learning English,
Right.
you're gaining a deeper understanding of Thai culture.
And building bridges.
Yeah, you're connecting with people on a whole new level.
Exactly.
It's about expanding your horizons,
Embracing the richness of human interaction.
even when it gets a little messy.
Yeah, even when it's confusing.
So to our listeners out there,
Yeah.
whether you're in the classroom
The workplace?
or just out and about in Thailand,
Remember,
approach each interaction with curiosity
with respect,
and a willingness to learn
you might be surprised at the connections you make.
and the insights you gain along the way.
And don't forget the power of a genuine smile
Oh, yes. A smile can go a long way.
and a polite kapkan krapka.
A little cultural sensitivity can make all the difference.
It really can.
It's about finding that sweet spot
Yeah.
where language and culture meet.
Creating a harmonious experience for everyone.
I love that.
So keep exploring
Keep learning.
and keep those conversations flowing
Don't forget to follow LexTalk.
on all our platforms.
Our website, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, SoundCloud, and Spotify.
And our handle is at LexTalk Podcast.
We'll be back next time
With more deep dives.
into the fascinating world of English and linguistics in Thailand.
Until then.
Let's talk. Let's learn. Let's talk.